Alright everybody, so we're here today to talk a little bit about the GED Initiative and our paperwork that we're trying to do and what we want to make sure that we have in there. So this is the initiative plan. This should be the first thing that you should be given when you start your classes. The case managers should be giving you this, and so they should be giving this, they should be filling this out. So you should get this part completed. Now, there's an error here. Do you guys see it? So it's right here, credit program declared. It should not say GED. It should say something like accounting. It should say something like criminal justice. So this is going to be what are they going to go study for, because they have a commitment to enroll in a credit program. So that means that one of these things they have to, in order to get into the GED Initiative, they have to say, I want to be a accountant. I want to go get my associate's degree in criminal justice. I want to get a level 1 certificate in welding. It has to be something that will be something like that. The other thing that we need to follow up on is the support services. Now, support services means that they are that they've been enrolled into Work in Texas and they've gone to Workforce Solutions, and they are eligible for all the Texas Workforce Solutions help that they can get. That can be things like short-term loans or short-term grants so that they can repair a vehicle. It could mean childcare. It could mean lots of things. So they will get help from Workforce. Now, maybe not all the time, but we want them to have that option, that it's there. So we need that one. We need to know their incoming TABE levels. So that should be given to you right there. What was their last grade completed? And then once they get their GED, we want to know how many hours it took. So some of us have had some people who've gotten their GEDs already. So we need to go in there and we need to say, how many hours did it take them? So if it took them 100 hours, we need to put 100 hours. If it took them only 30 hours, we need to know that. So we can, this is data that we can use to evaluate the program. And then also we need to know how many hours of the My Foundations labs they're using. What is their test scores that they took at the end, and then what is the next phase of the program. Are they going to continue on to the credit program? Did they decide that they didn't want that they wanted to join the CE side, so that they're doing not credit welding but continuing education welding? Or did they do truck driving or forklift or something along those lines instead? Or did we lose them to employment? Or did they just need their GED just so they could get the job? Because right now we're basing this on the fact that they're going to be enrolled in our credit programs. But if they end up becoming employed, we need to reevaluate our strategies. So that's the first thing that I want to talk about, is this is something that you do need to keep up with. Okay? Now let's talk about the day-to-day. So right here, these little, let me zoom in here. So right here, these little hash marks means that we can't read them. But if you just go up here to where the line goes like that, double click it, we can now see the things. Now these are telling me that there's divide by 0 errors. So these formulas, which we cannot change, which Jerome in his wisdom locked down so that we couldn't delete them, but they're telling me that the student, that all of this stuff is being divided by 0, so we can't divide by 0. So let's put in, let's say that Juan Vanilla shows up on October 30th for 3 hours, okay? And then he has a so here we could say it's what kind of other things that we're going to do. So let me see if that's been locked down or not. Let me see if I can say quizzes. Or maybe tests. Alright, no, it's been locked down. Okay, I need to talk to Jerome about that. But we can say, instead of PowerPoints right here, we can change that. I'll talk to Jerome about getting that one changed. But these are going to be different grades that so this should really not be PowerPoints, this should be assessments, and this should be participation. So I'll talk to Jerome about getting that one done. So you're going to have some sort of quiz, some sort of something that you can give them, and then we can have participation. So what is their what's going to be their quiz? Okay, let's say that there's no quiz this day, but there's a quiz once every once a month, at the end of the month. Let's say that we give them some sort of informal assessment. So a 100 there, and let's put another one right here. And now let's say the participation. Make sure this reflects something so that it's, you know, it's not just 100s across the board. That looks really suspicious. It looks like we're not doing our job if it's just like that. Although, if you want to say that you're going to give them that their hours that they attend is their participation grade, that's one thing. That's something that you can do to get their participation. But to say that we want more than that, make sure that it's not just 100s across the board for everybody, because that definitely looks very suspicious. And it looks like we're not actually giving them good feedback. Okay, so make sure that if they're absent, that they can't participate, right? So now, let's see. So see how this didn't change, how it's still 100? Let's turn that into a 0. Let's turn that into a 0. Let's turn that into a 3. Yeah. See how it's automatically changing this part over here. If I put a 3, it changes. If I put a 0, that changes. If I have a 0 here, it's going to change my average. But if I don't have anything, it doesn't change the average. So make sure you give them zeros if they need zeros. Okay, so that's how we can do it, so that these, we can have our PowerPoint or whatever sort of other item. Homework is another awesome choice that we have here, so that we assign them something for homework. Put the homeworks there. Okay, we don't have enough time to do everything in the books, so give it to them for homework. So that's the other thing that I want to make sure that we're doing right there. And then we'll print these out, and then at the end we will send them in. Now let's talk about the new case management template. So let's take our Jane Doe, and then this is going to be the GED Readies. So this is going to be their practice tests. We need to record their scores. Soon, hopefully, I don't know how soon, but we will have access to what's called the GED Manager. What that means is we can look up their scores, so we don't need the students to tell us what they got. That we can actually go in there and we can look at their scores. But right now, we rely on our students to show us their scores. So ask them for a printout, ask them to show you, to log into the computer and show you. Ask them for something that says that, okay, I got a 120. So let me do a thing here. Let me just make sure that so 120. Fail. Alright. A 151. They passed it. Awesome. So now we know, and we know what days they're going to take their tests on. Okay, and then we know what days they're going to take. So type in their, so make the notes. If they passed it, say 160. Pass. Right? Or say, okay, they came in, I got the voucher, and I signed them up. Don't trust your students to sign up. Don't give them the voucher. Sign them up. Make sure that they're there and they are the ones who have selected the test dates. And then once they've selected it, you say, okay, now let me give you this voucher and let me see that you have registered. Don't, I found that the students will say they're going to do it and they just don't end up doing it. Make them come to class to sign up. You know, you can be flexible on this if you know their car is broken down or something like that, but sign them up. Don't let them sign up. And that's going to be those ones. And then over here, we want to make sure that we are recording the comments. So if they were absent, tell me that they were absent. Okay? If they failed, tell me what their plan is after they fail. Okay? And this is what we're paying you for. that's what the extra hours are for. Make sure that it's at a time that we can reach you, so that Jovan or myself or Olivia or whoever is a coordinator at the time can come in and say, I need to see what's going on, so that you can get these hours done in a time that we can find you, that we can reach you, so that if we have any questions, we can contact you. So do that during the day, or do that at least at some time at a regular scheduled time every week here at the office. So that way we can reach you, and if we have any questions, we can talk to you about it then. So that seems to be the basics of this. I'll also go over some more of the answers and some more other questions we might have about the curriculum later, but this is the basic format for the paperwork that we're being asked to fill out.